Well, that was anticlimactic. What is going on, guys? What's going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. This is going to be released early in the morning, as I'm going to be recording this at almost 11:30 at night. I just came back from my flag football games. I am still in my uniform, and I'm just going to record this, and we'll get on with our days, because there's not much to go into these free agent signings. I didn't expect much. A lot of people thought that we would get the quarterback question answered today before free agency actually starts, which I think starts on Wednesday. So this is just a tampering period. This is where teams just get to reach out to free agents and kind of pre-sign deals, because none of these, by the way, all of these guys can just pull out of the Giants deals. Like, these are not confirmed. These are just verbal agreements. Nothing is put to paper yet. So you guys, if you guys remember, one of the more I guess familiar things that happened a couple of years ago that I always think about is Frank Gore signing with the Eagles, that when he left San Francisco, and then pulling out of the Eagles and signing with, I believe it was the Colts at the time. He signed with the Colts, and I remember like not understanding that at the time, because I was like 17 or something like that. I didn't really understand how free agency works. I'm like, wait, didn't he just sign with the Eagles? But I was happy about that. All right, so we're gonna get into free agency and all the signings that were made. It wasn't a terrible, because I gotta listen, I always say this every year. The Giants are a bad organization. They're a bad team. We can't expect them to go out there and get the best free agents out there, because you got to think about it. The free agents have to desire being with the Giants. This isn't Madden, where you get to sign all the guys that you want and kind of force these things to happen. Both sides need to mutually agree. And let's be honest, the Giants aren't exactly a destination. You're going to have to overpay these guys to bring them in, and we'll get into a lot of these free agent signings, and that's what the Giants pretty much did for the most part. And on top of that, I gotta stay consistent with what I've been saying throughout this free agency period, where I don't want the Giants to go out and spend all the money. You know what I'm saying? I want them to go out and get a really solid corner. I really wanted them to go out and get a really solid defensive tackle, and of course get some sort of a semblance of a quarterback. But we'll see what happens down the line. But now they're starting to like kind of roll out. I think it's only up to like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers right now is like the most desirable quarterbacks out there. Otherwise, we're probably going like Gardner Minshew or something. But man, let's get into the first free agent signing. Let me see if I can pull it up here. All right, so you can barely see it. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust this in real time. All right, so the first one that we have here is Paulson Adebo. Now, everybody, this was a mixed bag, right? When the news initially came out, see, blame Elon Musk and Twitter, because Twitter had an aneurysm right when free agency happened. I remember trying to go on Twitter right when the clock struck 12 in the afternoon, and I was like, checking Twitter and trying to go through Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, the Giants, the Giants account, and it was not loading. I'm like, is this just me? Is this just my life? But apparently it happened to everybody. Twitter shut down, and the Paulson Adebo news got mixed up with another player. I think people said it got mixed up with the Jordan Lewis signing to Jacksonville, where a lot of people thought Paulson Adebo was signed for 3 years, $30 million, which would have been an absolute steal. 3 years, $30 million for Paulson Adebo is fantastic. If you guys don't know, Paulson Adebo has had, I believe, 10 interceptions throughout his 4-year career, or maybe more than that. I think 10 interceptions. Had 4 last year or 3 last year, something around there. I'm misremembering that. And he only played 7 games. He went out in the middle of the season last season with a broken leg. Now, a lot of people are really concerned, including myself, with the broken leg, paying him this kind of money and having that broken leg. It's going to be about $18 million a year, which a lot of people may say is an overpay. But if you see the money that, J.C. Horn got around $20 million. Byron Murphy, I believe, got more, somewhere around it. I think it's going to be worth it. Paulson Adebo, if you guys don't know, the type of player he is, because a lot of people can say they know these players, but don't really know how they play. Paulson Adebo is a press man corner, right? Very good press man corner. I mean, when you turn on the film, I'm going to do a film review on him. When you turn on the film and you watch that video, when I eventually come out with it, you guys are going to be very impressed with him, as I was. The only problem I do have is, one, the broken leg, but I will say bones heal a lot better than ligaments and muscles and stuff like that. I would rather, I know it sounds crazy, I'd rather see a broken leg than a torn ligament, torn patellar tendon or something like that. Those you don't want to mess with because they tear again so fast. Usually when bones break, they heal and the bones are stronger. I'm telling you right now, they're strong. I don't think it was a freak accident. I don't believe that's going to happen again. I love Paulson Adebo. I like the money for what he was signed for. I do. But there goes my second worry. The scheme fit. Is Shane Bowen going to move to a man defense? Or at least play a little bit more man? Because if you guys don't know, Deonte Banks is more of a man cornerback, and we saw him struggle mightily in this zone system that Shane Bowen likes to run. It's not just zone. We don't like press in zone. We don't get up to the line in zone. We give so much freaking cushion. It's like a poor man's Vic Fangio's defense. You know, it's like someone trying to run Vic Fangio's defense without Vic Fangio being there. You know what I'm saying? So, I think maybe that's where they're leaning to. I do worry about Drew Phillips if we do switch to a man defense, but listen, my first round pick and my top paid corner, I want them to be most comfortable rather than our slot cornerback. So Drew Phillips is going to have to learn the ways of press man, but Paulson Adebo is a press man corner, so I'm interested to see if we're going to use, because I'm sure he could play zone. But you know, if you want to use your corner to the best of his ability, you should probably stick him man-to-man. So, there's the money. This is the only one that's kind of like showing the guaranteed money right now. $36 million guaranteed. I'm okay with this. I'm really not complaining about this at all. A lot of people don't like the signing because it's $18 million a year. Guys, one thing we have to remember, the cap, and I know you guys have heard this a lot, the cap raises so much year to year that a lot of these contracts look like bargains by the time, this player needs to get signed again. You know what I'm saying? So, and then other corners get signed for big money and things like that. So, we're going to skip over the next two. I'm going to go in order of which they were signed. So, Robertson-Harris, the defensive tackle, this is purely a depth move, right? 32 years old. I think he gets like 2 or 3 sacks a year. He's good for about 2 or 3 sacks a year. Probably cleanup sacks. I haven't watched a film on him yet, but I've heard about him. I think I heard about him more like with the Jags. So he's getting, what is he? He's getting a total of $9 million on 2 years, 4.5 a year. It's just a depth move. It's nothing crazy. Nacho is probably still going to be our number 2 defensive tackle and rotate with DJ Davidson, I guess. Maybe Roy Robertson would get some more looks, but like, I don't care about this move. I really wanted to go out there and get like a Sebastian Joseph Day, a guy you could sign and he like sign for cheap and still get good value out of him. Sebastian Joseph Day, shout out to Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. He's from the same school I went to high school in. Sebastian Joseph Day could have been, I think he got signed for $7 million or something like that. He went back with the Titans, got signed for like $7 million. I would have paid the extra, $3 million to get him over here rather than Roy Robertson-Harris. That's just me. I think Sebastian, he's like my age, so he's like 27, 28, a little younger. A little bit more expensive, but probably would have got some starter value out of him. I don't like this move I don't care about this. Not that I don't like it, I just don't care about it. Chris Board, the linebacker out of Baltimore, he's just going to be a special teamer. This guy's paying $3 million a year. He's just going to be a special teamer. He played 80% of the snaps of Baltimore's special teams. So that's all I really see that signing being. He's not going to get playing time. Let's see what happens with injuries and the whole Bobby Okereke situation. I don't know how that's going, so we'll see what happens. James Hudson, the tackle out of Cleveland, he's young, right? He's young, and he's getting signed. Check this out. This is what baffles me. All right, this is what baffles me. James Hudson got signed for a 2-year, $12 million contract, $6 million per. $6 million to be a backup. That shows you the confidence that Joe Schoen, or the lack thereof, that Joe Schoen has for the Giants' offensive line, especially the tackles, to stay healthy. We know Andrew Thomas is good for an injury or two a year, right? We just know that. As much as we love him, we love Andrew Thomas, we know he's good for an injury or two a year. Jermaine Illuminor went down with an injury this year. James Hudson, don't know if he has any potential at guard, but I assume he's just a tackle. $6 million for a swing tackle is insane. Just thinking about the fact that Jermaine Illuminor got signed for $7 million for 2 years. That's insane. Or 3 years maybe, but he got $7 million per. Jermaine Illuminor. Let me look at Illuminor real quick. Jermaine Illuminor. Right? Come on. Show me the money. Yeah. So what do you get here? What's the total? So $7 million average salary, 2 years, $14 million. So he's a free agent next year. So I don't know if they would want to move on with James Hudson next year or whatever. Maybe that's what they're doing. I have no idea. But that's just like, it's crazy because Jermaine Illuminor is our starter, and he's making $500,000 more than the backup, than the swing tackle. It's like they already are prepared for him to start eventually. They are prepared for him to eventually start. That shows the lack of confidence that everybody has with this offensive line. So, like I said, I don't really know too much about James Hudson. I think we definitely overpaid. But, guys, we have to overpay. One thing you guys don't understand is that we have to overpay to bring these guys here because nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to come. Amani Toomer said it. Nobody wants to come here. He said he heard around the league that the Giants are like a death place. Like nobody wants to come here. We are a sinking ship, as he said. That everybody considers us a sinking ship. So nobody wants to come here except our man Darius Slayton. This was a nice surprise. Darius Slayton. I don't care what anybody says. Don't care what anybody says. Darius Slayton, I wanted back onto the Giants. I didn't think he would come back. I thought he would like have some dignity in himself and want to leave. But he likes his organization. He loves being a part of this team. You can see it on Twitter. He defends this team tooth and nail. He defended Daniel Jones tooth and nail when he was here. 3 years, $36 million. To me, call me crazy. Call me crazy. This is a bargain. This is a deal. Darius Slayton is being paid like a number 3 receiver, and I legitimately think he's a number 2. I legitimately think that. Now, you can always go into a draft and upgrade him at number 2. Is he like one of the best number 2s ever? No. He's not like T. Higgins level. Like, you can definitely upgrade from Darius Slayton. Don't get me wrong. Like, if Darius Slayton were to leave, I'm just looking to replace him automatically. Like, I'm going to go get a guy, you know. But Darius Slayton being signed for $12 million per is a deal compared to what this wide receiver market is looking like and at what he was able to do for this organization when we had absolutely nobody, right? He was a 5th-round pick who couldn't catch the ball, who couldn't run a route. This was a guy that was like Jalen Hyatt that dropped the ball all the time coming out of college at Auburn. He worked on his hands, right? Does he drop a ball or two eventually? Sometimes, sure. But you can depend on Darius Slayton. He has one of the best releases on the team. He worked on all his releases. He's one of the best route runners on the team. Yes, he's a better route runner than Malik Neighbors. I said it. He is the best route runner on this team. If you guys watch Darius Slayton film, he's constantly, like, I watch a lot of, like, film people. They always highlight Darius Slayton. Like, yo, I didn't know Darius Slayton could run the diamond release like this. Like, he can run routes, and he beats press man all the time. All the time. And I think Darius Slayton is one of the unsung heroes of this team, and I think he's well worth the contract, and I'm happy to have him back. $12 million per is amazing compared to what the Jags did. The Jags are like on a mission to destroy the wide receiver market. You saw the monstrosity of a contract they paid Christian Kirk just to turn around and trade the guy. They knew he wasn't going to be worth that contract. They knew they were going to want to get rid of him at some point. Everyone knew this. I knew that wasn't going to work out. Christian Kirk signed to like how much was it? Like a 3-year, $84 million, something like that. It was crazy deal. But They signed De'Ami Brown for 1 year, $10 million. De'Ami Brown makes only $2 million less than Darius Slayton. De'Ami Brown has done nothing in the league besides like 3 games late last year where he just came on in the playoffs. That's it. De'Ami Brown has done nothing in the NFL. He got $10 million. Okay? Go look at the wide receivers that what they're being signed for. Man, we can just do this right now. All right, so this just in. I just seen this after I stopped hitting the record button. Chauncey Golston just got signed to a 3-year, $19.5 million deal. So, I like this signing. Another like rotational edge rusher. I'm not familiar with his game. I haven't watched specifically Chauncey Golston. They had a mean rotation on the defensive line this season for Dallas, so they were able to get a lot of guys involved, and he had his best season in his career. A career high of 5.5 sacks. 5 tackles for loss, 56 tackles. You know, you can look at it over here. He hasn't really been able to get it going his first couple years in the league, but he's had a decent year. This year, 5 passes defense is pretty damn good. Had himself an interception as well. How about that? Started 13 games for the Dallas Cowboys. You can see his pressures as well as his tackles. Completely blew his tackles out the water. 5 tackles for loss. Right. So that's fun. That's fun. Let's look at his advanced stats. So 18 pressures. I mean, you would like to see a little bit more. What's his snap count looking like? This thing be so hard to read when I'm so tired. I just came back from my flag football game, guys. So, you know, let's look at his snap count. 72%. Yeah, he barely got any playing time in his first couple years in the league. Barely got anything. 72% is still not like fantastic, but he did the most did the most production as he could with the opportunity he was given. 6'5", 268. He was drafted third round, 84th overall in 2021 draft. So yeah, it's a good pickup. I don't mind it at all. I'm okay with this. The Giants are probably losing out on Azeez Ojulari, and we have Kayvon there, so he'll be in the rotation there. I really want Azeez Ojulari back, but this move tells me that they are moving on from Azeez Ojulari. So I guess they just want a guy that just is able to stay on the field. Azeez is fantastic when he's on the field. One of the most productive edge rushers in the past 3 years in the NFL. Honestly, if you look at his stats when he's playing, but Azeez Ojulari cannot stay on the field. So that being said, guys, yeah, that's the newest signing the Giants made. We can just do this right now off the cuff. So let's go to all teams. Let's go to wide receivers. Just because I know everybody's like saying this is an overpay. Like, are you out of your mind? Josh Palmer got the same amount. I'm sorry. I'm taking Darius Slayton over Josh Palmer. You want to talk about a guy that's just a deep threat? Josh Palmer is pretty much just a deep threat. That's pretty much all he is. He got like the same exact contract as Darius Slayton, and Darius Slayton can do so much more. Darius Slayton has inside-outside versatility. Darius Slayton can beat man press. Not a lot of wide receivers nowadays can do that. They're just speedsters, right? A lot of these wide receivers coming out, they don't have the footwork that a guy like Darius Slayton now has. You can see the experience throughout his career. De'Ami Brown, 1 year, $10 million. That's insane. Who the hell? All right, boy, this is $8.5 million. Oh, well, not much wide receivers being signed so far. But just compare it. Besides Davante Adams, Darius Slayton is the best receiver that was signed so far. Besides Davante Adams, we don't like. Come on, it's Davante Adams. And that was a surprise for me that he went to the Rams. You know, and then let's go to the tackles real quick. I want to look at tackle and what they were signed for. So. Matt Peart. Shout out to Matt Peart getting his money. 2 years, $7 million. I guess he's a swing tackle as well. Shout out to Matt Peart. James Hudson getting about double that. Morgan Moses went to New England. 3 years. How old is Morgan? 34 years old. He's going to get signed until he's 36. $11 million in guaranteed money. All right, that's not bad. He's good for about a year or two, so he'll make that $11 million, no problem. They'll be able to cut him easily. So $8 million per. Like think about it. James Hudson is making just $2 million less than Morgan Moses. Like, come on. And these were overpays. Dan Moore. Pittsburgh fans were happy to see him go. This man is making $20 million per. Wow. Pittsburgh fans hated this man. Jalen Moore. Who? Jalen Moore, $15 million per. So, like, the tackles are getting overpaid this season. It seems like every position, there's always one position that gets overpaid in a year, and that happens to be the tackles this year. Let's look at defensive tackles real quick. Look at defensive tackles. Milton Williams was a long shot. We were not getting Milton Williams, although that would have been amazing to get. Javon Kinlaw getting $15 million per for Washington. That's a super overpay. Javon Kinlaw has not been playing up to, like, what he drafted, like he was drafted in the top 10 or something like that by San Francisco. Then he's kind of bounced around the league a little bit. But he should not have been paid $15 million per. They're just trying to win a Super Bowl. They got a lot of money to spend, so they're just going to go out there and put all their chips on the table and try to win a Super Bowl. Grady Jarrett got $11 million per with Chicago. Bobby Brown, three for 21. So look at Sebastian Joseph Day. Right? 1 year, $7.5 million. I would pay this. That's just a $3 million difference between him and Roy Robertson-Harris. Sebastian Joseph Day is 30 years old? I thought he was like only a grade ahead of me. Am I that old? I'll turn 28 this year. I guess so. I went to school with him. I grew up with him. I don't know him too much, to be honest with you. I wish I could say I knew him. He's my best friend and he's going to come on the channel. We weren't in the same friend group. Sheldon Rankins getting $7 million per. Like, this is weird. I would have taken Sheldon Rankins in a heartbeat as well. It's just weird. I don't like the Roy Robertson-Harris signing. I just don't, to be honest with you. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of day one of New York Giants day one free agency. Leave it. I can't even speak right now. I'm so sorry. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys tomorrow or the following day for day 2 of free agency. Hopefully we get our quarterback by then. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next one.